Dr. Udaya Indraratne, Chief of Staff of our Army, Deputy Chief of Staff, Volunteer Force Commander, Principal Staff Officers, Brigade Commanders, Senior Officers, Gentlemen, good morning to all of you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to our home of the Sri Lanka Army, the Army headquarters, particularly for the refresher training workshop for brigade commanders. I'm certain that some of you have come to this headquarters for the first time in life. We must be grateful to His Excellency the President, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, for granting us an office of this magnitude. Since I took over office as the Commander of the Army, I could not spare much time to address all brigade commanders at once. But I have spoken to you all in your respected tactical area of responsibilities, and that was especially due to the situation that we had time to time in this country, and last few months, especially due to the reason of the outbreak of COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. As of today, we have managed to control this epidemic successfully. We are such a great nation who control COVID-19 successfully. We can be proud of our own achievements. Hats off to the great people of our nation who are disciplined to assist and support us to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. I take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and also Honorable Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the government of Sri Lanka for their decisions that they took. Special thanks goes to the Minister of Health, Honorable Pavitra Vanniyarachchi, and her team from the health sector, who tirelessly worked 24/7, giving guidelines to the nation. Army and our two sister services to be commended for the excellent service rendered, and it was second to none. And you know very well, at that time, even when I was appointed as the head of Operations Center for COVID-19, not openly, but here and there, some were in the doubt as to why an army officer is being given to head the task force, especially the Operations Center. So some spoke as to why military getting involved. Some great people and great nations also very concerned as to why a military is being taken to COVID-19. Within 50 days, they could tell our great nation, supported by the great people of this nation, managed to get some concession, at least to get the last COVID-19 patient from the society. After 30th of April, we haven't, and we wish we will not, experience a single COVID-19 patient in Sri Lanka. The health sector said without army and 2 other services, they can't even think of doing this daunting task. And we have done it. We managed to do it. And we, the army, led by the army, the other 2 services, police, the health sector, all other organizations, institutions supported. And special thanks goes to media who took the message. The right message was taken to the people of this country to prevent the spreading and to eradicate COVID from the soil of this great nation. I am pleased to take this opportunity to introduce you to this workshop today on operational and administrative functioning of brigades. Gentlemen, brigade commanders plays a significant role in the chain of command in this great organization, Sri Lanka Army. As brigade commanders, I think I don't have to mention, but you must be knowing, you all play a very significant role in the chain of command in the army. As a brigade, the brigade is positioned at the tactical level of the chain of command. It is at a tactical level of chain of command. The brigade is expected to execute the strategic directions physically at the ground to achieve desired ends, which means that your action in ground achieve the end state of the nation at large. That is the most important thing. That is why we took time to bring all the brigade commanders for the first time to Army headquarters, like today. Therefore, at the very beginning, let me insist on this factor. Any action at the brigade level, whether good or bad, directly reflects the image of the Sri Lanka Army. To know who you are, let me remind you of 3 attributes of command. Firstly, the authority. You are the bridge between the battalion and the division, where you have been bestowed with authority to lead the battalions, whatever the number of battalions, under your command. Please be very clear that you have been handpicked. Remember, you have been handpicked to have this authority, not only on your seniority, but on your performance, especially your performances over a period of time, competency, capacity, and most importantly, your integrity. Therefore, I expect that you would practice the authority vested on you with a broad set of competencies that includes adaptability, diplomacy, interpersonal skills, situational awareness, and continuous learning. More importantly, I expect that you would extend your service beyond the immediate call of duty with utmost dedication, commitment, and very important, with loyalty. Secondly, the responsibility. The success of any subordinate is your accolade, so does the failure of them. You may delegate the authority to your subordinates. This is how I have seen during past few months what I have seen here. You may delegate the authority to your subordinates, but you never can get away from the responsibility and the accountability of the action of them. You may delegate, but you can't get away from your responsibility and accountability. Correcting the action of men under your command is your responsibility. The art of excellent command is keeping the subordinates in the track to achieve what you want without interfering into lower level of leadership. You may have to keep them to do their initiatives. That is a different story. But what I am mentioning has to be there too. The key to this art is supervision. Remember, the good news is sluggish and bad news has wings. This bad news can be easily manipulated by the adversaries to tarnish the hard-won image of our army over many years. You all are members of today's army, and you all know how much dedication and commitment you put in to protect the people of this nation, to protect the country, and to build the image of this great organization, the Sri Lanka Army. You are here today, not for nothing. I want my brigade commanders to be learned, knowledgeable, practical set of brigade commanders. It is irritating to see a fault committed in one place is repeated elsewhere in the army, despite loads of instructions, control measures, and rules imposed at army headquarters level. The primary failure of these, as I see, is nothing but lack of supervision at all levels. This is where things goes wrong. That is why supervision becomes so important. It is not enough to merely preach the soldiers not to get involved in such. Some are very good in preaching. You believe that your preaching will work. It's not going to do that. You have to understand the background that these men have come from, the backgrounds that they go and get involved while they are on leave. People are different. Their interests are different. Therefore, when they get leave, they go home, they associate different types of people in the society. Although we have trained them to be a real soldier. You need to dig in more to the problem and resolve the reasons for them to do so. That is very important. Why are they doing that? You have to dig that and see. And you have to respond to them in such a way. It is the prime obligation of the leaders to look after the welfare of soldiers and their families. Not only getting the job done. Think of the amount of things that we have given during my command. I insist that it is your prime responsibility to look after your men with a reminder not to disapprove my choice to appoint you as brigade commanders. Don't allow me to disapprove my own decision of taking you handpicked and appointing you as a brigade commander. Don't allow that to happen. Thirdly, the accountability. Gentlemen, His Excellency the President, being an army officer who served the nation with valor and the present Secretary of Defense, has kept utmost trust on security forces, especially on Sri Lanka Army, to shoulder the gigantic task of rebuilding our nation. Lot of expectations on tri-services, especially His Excellency being the President and he being an ex-army officer, Secretary of Defense had been an ex-army officer. Not just ex-army officers who have been in the field, who have fought battles, who have proved that they are great leaders, commanders, officers, and a gentleman. And they are supporting at the highest possible level to assist and support, to build this organization, to build to what we want to achieve. I don't have to tell you today where the army stands today in front of the nation. Therefore, it is a must that we render our service to this nation with all might. We are the largest organization with the most prominent human capital. Therein, effective management of such a volume of reap maximum benefits over the operational and administrative function is a daunting task. It's not very easy. It's a daunting task. If you and your staff are fully conversant with the management system of the Sri Lanka Army, the functions of the directorates, and whom to address for a particular subject, I don't have to doubt the relevancy and the validity of some of the correspondences generated from your headquarters as I do today. It is your responsibility. Gentlemen, it is utmost essential to to function our organization in well-geared form, justifying every cent. I say again, justify every cent we consume from the public taxpayers. Let me remind you the difference between a leader and a manager, the way that I see. The manager does the right things, and the leader does the things right in a broader domain. We are leaders. We are commanders. You as a brigade commanders may have to differentiate the qualities of these two roles and act upon it when it is needed. That is very important. As I mentioned earlier, we have become the focus of our country, where our people are willing to have the military patronage for everything we do. This simplifies that the people of this nation had the utmost faith that we would continue to be the survivor of them in future too. You just think what are being spoken around this country. Think of the image that you have as of today. The army stands the topmost position. Army being respected at the highest level. And you all deserve to get a credit for that. And it's your responsibility, along with some other leaders and commanders, to ensure the army that you are serving will be kept during your time in a way as a foundation for future too. Be aware that there are many hawk eyes observing what we do, how we spent, intending to question the rightfulness of the military tool to perform that particular task. That is also there. Gentlemen, at modernity, we live in a dynamic, volatile, and a complex environment. Let me speak on a few essentials that a brigade commander must be conversant. Present-day context increasingly demands well-scrutinized civil-military coordination. As you are well aware and experienced, this civil-military relationship is characterized by endless CIMIC activities today. In dealing with civilians, it is a must that the leaders are attributed by professionalism, diplomacy, discipline, and empathy. Also, you should know and educate your men on how soldiers should appear in front of civilians. His dress, his way of talking, and also especially the way they behave in front of the civilians. Don't think that people are not looking at you. How you carry yourself as a brigade commander matters. What you put on your shoulders, chest, and your uniform should look like the appointment that you carry in your both shoulders. your way of talking, the way of you address, the way of you behave, the way of you walk, the way of you eat, the way of you drink, all matters. All are colonels and above. The way that you behave will have a reflect on the image of this organization. The Army headquarters see this macro picture of today's environment and issue directions from time to time in this regard. You must be seeing the AG, DPA, they give many instructions time to time. Honestly, you don't need such instructions. If you all are great leaders, if you are great commanders who have got initiative, we don't have to spend much time sending out most of the instructions that we do day to day. I suggest that you are to abide by those directions without acting on your own. I say again, by the direction, action has to be with the directions. I'm not trying to cut, as I mentioned before, your own initiative. You are supposed to exercise your initiative. But rules, regulations, directions at Army headquarters level, whatever given, you have to abide by those things. You can't deviate from those while using your initiative. Remember, we all have responsibility to preserve the identity of this great organization. I believe professionalism, vigilance, and the preparedness of the deployed forces would achieve the necessary deterrence to prevent the recurrence of incidents that we experienced a few times back. We have so far acted well. I must congratulate the leaders and the commanders of our army for the way that you all have acted most of the time. As the Chief of Defence Staff and the Commander of the Army, I'm sure that we would be able to maintain the spirit in time to come as well. Not only for today, as I mentioned, for tomorrow and for future. That is why you have been brought here, to get a great advice, a knowledge from a very eminent person, a person who had practically advised and made a group of people to be the leaders in different nations. Dr. Indraratna is a well-experienced officer. I don't need to talk about his autobiography, but he had transformed just people to be what they want to be, who should be. That is why you are spending almost 2 days here. I'm aware that most of you may have not got an opportunity to serve in Army headquarters in different calibers due to the extreme necessity of your service in the field during the time of war. Most of you all have been in the field. I'm aware, otherwise you wouldn't have been a brigade commander. I respect your courageous, determined action that you took while performing your tasks during the lower level of your appointments and ranks, especially during a time where we fought a war where some of the people of this nation and outsiders, the great people, great so-called great nations and people of those nations said that we are in an unwinnable war. This is the lot who had really performed on ground, being commanding officers or second in commands in your battalions, respective battalions. That is why I said you all were handpicked. So we respect your commitment during at that time. However, in order to function the brigades properly, it is equally essential to be thorough with the administrative and logistic systems of this organization, the Army. This would enable you to correspond with higher and lower headquarters effectively and efficiently. This is very important. Gentlemen, let me speak a few words on this notion of introducing a refresher training workshop for the senior officers of the Army. The overall aim of this refresher training workshop is to upgrade understanding of the operational and administrative processes of the Army headquarters for better streamlining the command and staff capabilities of brigade commanders. In light of proceeding the refresher training, it is designed to acquaint you with the new skills, methods, and processes that would enable you to work with competencies to shoulder future challenges. The future challenges can come in any way. It is not written. Those are not in books. See the environment. Who expected the COVID-19 epidemic to come in? Who expected military to shoulder the biggest responsibility? Are we aware, while we were serving in the Army, how to run a quarantine center? It was only few hours notice to put up a quarantine center and to quarantine the people of our own nation. What experience we had? Did we say no? You all would have seen. I went in front of media, people, and I told nothing impossible. As far as unity is strength, we believe unity as a strength. And in that case, nothing impossible. And we have done it. People of this nation talk about nothing impossible now. I believe this program would enhance productivity within the organization, offering a perfect opportunity for you to galvanize your understanding of the operational and administrative functions of the Sri Lanka Army. Please be free to share your valuable ideas and meaningful analytical conclusions during this workshop, during coming 2 days, to balance the linkage between Army headquarters and brigades in near and distant future. We are not only aiming for today's Army, we are focusing. That is why Way Forward Army 2025 is being prepared. We are planning the Army for 2025 and for 2030. We are spending a lot of time to educate you all, because you all are the future leaders. One of you all should stand in front of some of the officers on a lectern like this. We have to make you all, we have to groom you all, one of you all or few of you all, to be the leader of this organization. That is the requirement. That is what we try to endeavor by having such workshops. Gentlemen, I avail myself to congratulate some of the brigade commanders who got promoted recently, although I have not been able to congratulate each one of you personally. I hope it's not just a rank I mentioned. You are not only a brigadier. You are not come to another rank. You have become a one-star general. This organization, starting from the commander to the last private who is serving in the army, regular or volunteer force, expect you to behave, work, and knowledgeable as a one-star general. I hope, wish, and pray you will work as a one-star general in this organization where you can be proud of. You can tell any part of the world that you are a one-star general of Sri Lanka Army who have always produced results, who always have been above anyone, any organization. You can be proud. I conclude with a wish of all success to this training program. I do appreciate the commitment by the DGGS, Director Training, and all of you, and your dedicated service and professionalism displayed in discharging your duties to date. I do expect the same with revitalized and vigor in the future as well. I hope after next 72 hours that you will go with the knowledge that you would have lacked before. We started off this type of program with the directors at Army Headquarters. And now we are training you all. We are planning to train the next level of command of this organization. We will go down to the last commander, the junior most commander, the section commander, and we will train them. Everyone should know what is my mission, vision, my vision to the army. I will not just spell out my vision. I have experienced for last 37 years every aspect an officer should go through. I don't have to explain. In the field, instructor, or as a staff officer. So it's my bound duty to see what I felt that lagging, what I saw that is lagging in this organization, to make sure that the officers are fit to hold appointments, to hold the rank that they are wearing. That was my requirement. To make future leaders to this nation, to make a proper army commander after me, to make few down the line to lead this organization where we can be happy as a retired person. I believe, I wish that all of you will take a serious note of everything what I spoke. And I believe that you will behave as a brigade commander. And you'll be looked after. Do the right thing, thinking that you are doing the right thing. We'll look after. I want our army, every member of this army, to be a happy man, happy soldiering in this organization. For that, what the army could give, everything, possible, even impossible, we'll try to give. All what you need is to make sure that you do the right thing. Things in a right way. I wish you all the very best. Have a great session. Try to understand what these people, every lecturer, everyone standing behind this podium, nothing but they are trying to give you knowledge, to brush up your minds, to hold the appointment and the rank. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.